Constantinople was a very important city. It was the capital of the Byzantine Empire for over 1,000 years. The city was located on a strategic strait between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. This made it a hub for trade and culture. Constantinople was known for its beautiful buildings, strong walls, and rich history. It was a prize that many wanted to conquer. Constantinople was a melting pot of different cultures and religions. People from all over the world came to trade and exchange ideas. The city was home to magnificent churches, palaces, and public buildings. Its libraries held ancient texts, preserving knowledge from across the ages. Constantinople was a beacon of civilization and a symbol of the Byzantine Empire's power. The city's strategic location made it a vital link between East and West. Traders from Asia, Africa, and Europe converged in Constantinople's bustling markets. Spices, silks, jewels, and other precious goods flowed through its ports. Constantinople's wealth and prosperity became legendary, attracting merchants and adventurers from far and wide. However, the city's wealth and strategic importance also made it a target. Over the centuries, many enemies threatened Constantinople, but the city's strong defenses and the courage of its people had always kept it safe. By the 15th century, a new threat emerged: the Ottoman Empire. Kindly drop a comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you for visiting Insight Harbor. The Ottoman Empire was growing in power. It had already conquered many lands around Constantinople. The Ottomans were determined to capture the city and make it their own. They saw Constantinople as the key to controlling trade routes between East and West. The Byzantine Empire, on the other hand, was weakening. It had lost many of its territories, and its army was not as strong as it once was. The empire was also facing internal conflicts and religious divisions. These factors made it difficult for the Byzantines to resist the growing Ottoman threat. Despite the challenges, the people of Constantinople were determined to defend their city. They knew that their city was a symbol of Christianity, and its fall would be a huge blow to the Christian world. They prepared for the inevitable siege, strengthening their defenses and gathering supplies. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations, a battle that would decide the fate of Constantinople and change the course of history. Mehmed II was the young and ambitious Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. He was determined to capture Constantinople. Mehmed was a skilled military leader and a ruthless strategist. He assembled a vast army and brought powerful cannons to the siege. Constantine VI was the last emperor of the Byzantine Empire. He was a brave and noble ruler, but he faced an almost impossible task. Constantine knew that his city was outnumbered and outgunned, but he was determined to fight for his people and his faith. He rallied his soldiers and citizens, inspiring them to defend their city to the death. Mehmed and Constantine were both strong leaders fighting for their empires. The clash between these two men would determine the fate of Constantinople. Their names would be etched in history as the victor and the vanquished of one of the most epic sieges of all time. The siege of Constantinople was not just a battle between two armies. It was a clash of cultures, religions, and empires. The outcome of the siege would have far-reaching consequences for the future of Europe and the Middle East. The siege of Constantinople began in April 1453. The Ottomans surrounded the city. They bombarded its walls with their massive cannons. These cannons were a new technology. They could fire heavy stone balls over long distances. The walls of Constantinople were strong. They had withstood many attacks over the centuries, but the Ottoman cannons were too powerful. They began to break down the walls, creating breaches for the Ottoman army to exploit. The defenders of Constantinople fought bravely. They used every means at their disposal to repel the Ottoman attacks. They hurled rocks and Greek fire at the attackers. Greek fire was a secret weapon. It was a flammable liquid that could burn on water. Despite their valiant efforts, the defenders of Constantinople were outnumbered and outgunned. The Ottoman army was relentless in its assault. Section 5. A city besieged. Constantinople was under siege for 53 long days. The Ottomans attacked the city by land and sea. They used ladders to try and climb the walls. They also dug tunnels under the walls to try and weaken them. Life inside Constantinople was difficult during the siege. Food and water were running low. The constant bombardment by the Ottoman cannons terrified the citizens. The defenders were exhausted from the constant fighting, but the people of Constantinople refused to give up. They believed that God would protect their city. They held religious processions in the streets. They prayed for a miracle that would save them. The Ottoman Sultan, Mehmed II, offered the defenders of Constantinople a choice. He said they could surrender the city and live, or they could fight on and die. Constantine VII refused to surrender. He chose to fight alongside his people. Section 6. The Final Assault. On May 29, 1453, Mehmed II ordered a final assault on Constantinople. The Ottoman army attacked the city with all its might. The defenders fought bravely, but they were overwhelmed. The Ottomans broke through the walls and entered the city. Constantine VII, the last Byzantine emperor, died fighting on the walls. He knew that all was lost, but he refused to abandon his city. His bravery inspired his men to fight to the end. The fall of Constantinople was a chaotic and bloody affair. Ottoman soldiers surged through the streets, clashing with desperate defenders. The city, once a beacon of civilization, descended into violence and destruction. The once impregnable city had fallen after a brutal 53-day siege. The Byzantine Empire, which had lasted for over 1,000 years, was no more. Section 7. The Fall of a City, the Rise of an Empire. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves throughout Europe. It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and the rise of the Ottoman Empire as a major power in the region. The Ottomans had achieved a stunning victory, capturing one of the most important cities in the world. Mehmed II entered Constantinople in triumph. He declared the city his new capital and renamed it Istanbul. The Hagia Sophia, once the grandest church in Christendom, was converted into a mosque. The fall of Constantinople had a profound impact on the course of history. It marked the end of the medieval period and the beginning of the Renaissance. It also shifted the balance of power in Europe and the Middle East. Section 8. A New Age begins. The Ottoman conquest of Constantinople had significant consequences for both the conquerors and the conquered. For the Ottomans, it was a moment of triumph, marking their emergence as a major power in the world. They controlled the strategically important city, gaining control of vital trade routes and access to the Mediterranean Sea. For the people of Constantinople, the conquest brought about a period of profound change. The city, once the heart of the Byzantine Empire, was now part of the Ottoman Empire. Many inhabitants fled, seeking refuge in other parts of Europe, taking with them their knowledge and traditions. The fall of Constantinople also had a significant impact on the cultural landscape of the region. The Ottomans, with their own distinct traditions and beliefs, brought about a fusion of cultures. This fusion can be seen in the architecture, art, and cuisine of Istanbul, a city that bears the legacy of both its Byzantine and Ottoman past. Section 9. The Legacy of Constantinople. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 was a pivotal event in world history. It marked the end of an era, the fall of a great empire, and the rise of a new power. The event continues to resonate in the present day, shaping our understanding of the past and influencing the geopolitical landscape of the region. The legacy of Constantinople is complex and multifaceted. It is a reminder of the ebb and flow of empires, the enduring power of ideas, and the interconnectedness of human history. The fall of the city serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of unity, the dangers of complacency, and the unpredictable nature of human events. Section 10. Remembering the Past. The story of Constantinople's fall is not just a historical event confined to the past. It holds valuable lessons for us today. It reminds us that even the mightiest empires can fall, and that vigilance and preparedness are essential for survival. The siege of Constantinople also highlights the importance of innovation and adaptation. The Ottomans, with their advanced cannons and military tactics, were able to overcome the formidable defenses of Constantinople, a city that had withstood countless sieges for over 1,000 years. Section 11. A turning point in history. The fall of Constantinople wasn't just the end of one empire and the beginning of another. It changed how people fought wars. It also changed how people saw the world. After Constantinople fell, many scholars and artists left the city. They went to Italy. This helped start the Renaissance. The Renaissance was a time of great learning and art in Europe. The fall of Constantinople was a big moment in history. It changed Europe and the Middle East forever. Today, we can learn from this event. We can see how important it is to be strong. We can also see how important it is to be open to new ideas.